For the Tampa Bay Rays and another sweep. The Rays are, believe it or not, 19-3 as of today.
I'm collecting broomsticks in my house now, and that's getting to be a little bit of a problem, Kevin, but it's a problem I'd like to have. So let's talk about that right now.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano.
And we are the host of the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making us your very first listen every day. Be sure you check out and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Locked On Rays. I believe we're up to 900 subscribers. Let's get to number 1,000, I say. You can also find us on all the other traditional podcasting platforms. We're also on Twitter and Instagram at Locked On Rays. And you can email us anytime, voice memo or otherwise, lockedonrays@gmail.com. Today's episode is brought to you by Ultimate Baseball GM. Ever dreamed of becoming an MLB GM and managing your baseball franchise? Well, then this is a game definitely for you. To download the game, just visit ultimatebaseballgm.com or look it up on the app stores. Our listeners get a 100% free boost to their franchise when using the promo Locked On in the game, LOCKEDON. Be sure to use all caps on that Locked On. All right, the Rays keep rolling along here.
Yeah, they do. I want to just be shocked, genuinely, at something you said, because I had a really fun weekend and I didn't really pay attention to our metrics as per usual.
Yeah.
The last time I left it on like Friday was like 880. We crossed to 900.
I believe we did the last I checked and looked it up.
Wow. That's awesome.
So,
thank you guys so much.
Yeah, let's keep it rolling here.
You know what this means, right? If you've been with us, if you're an everydayer, you know how long it has taken for this process to unfold. So we're only 100 away. What's 100? Let's see. Could Randy Arozarena get 100 RBI this year? Well,
he could. I wouldn't count on it, but I would say there are at least 100 people in the Randy Land section in left field. I feel like if all those people subscribed simultaneously, we'd be at that magic 1K marker.
I'm gonna put out a challenge here. If you're a Rays, a Locked On Rays everydayer, and you go to the Trop, again, we've said this before, you take a picture and you put hashtag Locked On Rays, we're gonna retweet the heck out of it. First of all, and second of all, hey, the guy that you're gonna be high-fiving and he's really into the game too, tell him, hey, by the way, have you heard of Locked On Rays? It's pretty good. You should check it out. So do that next time.
That would be much appreciated. All right, let's get right into it. Our takeaways and observations from a eventful, positive weekend for your Tampa Bay Rays. Ulises, what do you got?
I hope that I'm not going to be just like an old man yelling in the clouds for this, because there's a lot of positive to take off from not only this season but the series too. I want to focus on something that was kind of negative. And
you're going to focus on a negative after a 3-game sweeper, and the team being at 19-3 and hitting a home run in every single ball game this season.
Because it's not about the team; it's what some other people did to the team, and that was the negative part. And I saw a lot of Rays fans also be upset at this. So I gotta use the platform.
Okay,
Jason Benetti is a terrific play-by-play man. He has done wonderful work for the community, and he is really knowledgeable and really good.
He's also broken barriers as a gentleman with cerebral palsy to get where he's gotten at and get camera time too.
He's a role model. Like, the guy is amazing. Awful call for the walk-off in a national broadcast. I understand he is a Chicago White Sox play-by-play.
Mm-hmm.
but he was not the Chicago White Sox play-by-play on Saturday. He was not. He was the national play-by-play guy. So it really rubbed me the wrong way. And I was thinking, oh, maybe, Ulises, maybe you're being a little bit too sensitive. Can you just please, not be made of glass? And then I went on into social media, and I wasn't the only one that was made out of glass. A lot of Rays fans noted the same thing over and over. And then other people from other fan bases were like, wow, this is what the Rays get. And so other Rays fans had to say, no. That's the national play-by-play guy. So Jason Benetti, I just think you got to take your team hat off when you go national. And I guess White Sox fans would be happy about this, but it's not the right tone. It was not the right way to do that call. I'm kind of disappointed because he's really good at his job. And you turned me on to him. You told me, hey, this guy's really good. You got to listen to him. So I have. So again, just very, very disappointed because that was a terrific game on Saturday, and it was kind of botched by the way that he called it.
Yeah, it's really interesting because I don't even really agree with the approach of I would rather just have a quote unquote national broadcaster doing the national games on Fox as opposed to a guy that's, well, let me step back here. If you're going to go with a local broadcaster for a national call, I would think that you would maybe want to dive inside a little bit and look at the tea leaves and say, okay, this Rays team is making and surpassing history. We're at the Trop. Let's have Dwayne Stats or Andy Fried or somebody from the Rays end of things. I don't care if it's Rich Hollenberg, for God's sakes, if you want to do that. Whereas, and I know Jason Benetti has more of a national profile and has done national games, but I feel like, I don't know. I feel like they maybe made a mistake by having the White Sox guy call the national game. It'd be different, maybe. I don't know. I feel like I'm talking in circles here. It just smells a little funny having that set up the way it has. I mean,
no Rays input.
What happened to
No
Kevin Burkhardt or Joe Buck or whoever? I don't care.
No Rays input, man. Why isn't BA? It had to be Tom Verducci, who is a noted Rays hater. My goodness. Again, Rays fans will never be national broadcast fans just because we know what they're going to say. Well, the pesky Rays are at it again. How are they doing it? They were legitimately saying stuff like, wow, this Shane McClanahan can really throw the ball hard. Like, Shane McClanahan? Are you serious? Like, are we really surprised what Shane McClanahan can do in a national broadcast? Like, you're supposed to already know this. Like, I don't know. It was just not good. Not good news. And I know as a Rays fan, you are used to saying, you know what, when it's national, we go Rays radio, we link it up, sync it. But I was just so appalled. It's like, when you see like something horrible and you're like, I can't look away. That's exactly what was happening with the national broadcast. So I know it starts off a little bit on the rage side of Rays fandom, this podcast, but I don't think I'm the only one. And you know what? Drop it down in the comments if you felt the same way or you saw nothing wrong with Jason Benetti's call, but I definitely did.
All right. We got more to discuss about what happened on the field as well, in addition what happened on the broadcast booth. It's a Monday. I'm having difficulty talking. Haven't had enough coffee yet. But first, Ulises, we have to tell the audience about something very important.
Yes, we do. And that very important thing is to download Ultimate Pro Baseball GM. Like you said, Kevin, if they've ever dreamed of being a baseball GM, this is the game for you. Okay. It is the coolest game. It's very realistic. You can manage every strategic aspect of your franchise. You can go through free agency. You can hire the right staff and coach. Maybe someday there will be a software update where you can hire the right play-by-play broadcasters too. Who knows? I mean, this game is going to get updates all the time. So what you have to do as a Locked On Rays listener is download this game from your app store, and you will get a 100% free boost to your franchise when you use the promo code Locked On in the game store. Again, Locked On will get you a 100% free boost to your franchise, all in caps. Okay, so go to your app store today and get started on your dynasty.
Speaking of the broadcast angle for another sec, so it was just Jason Benetti and Tom Verducci in the booth, correct?
Yeah, I mean, from what I remember, I don't know who the sideline reporter was or if there was any. I don't remember them cutting to somebody, but maybe I'm missing it. Yeah.
Well, that, and there wasn't a former big leaguer as another insightful voice. I would have thought, I know whether you like Alex Rodriguez or like AJ Pierzynski, whoever it may be, I would think that you'd want to stick a guy that has played the game to provide that angle. I don't have any issue with a 3-man booth, especially on a national broadcast, but I would like to see what and how they play off both Benetti and Verducci, two reporter media types with a guy who's swung a bat or thrown a baseball.
And especially because you're seeing like a historic Rays start to the season, not even a Rays start to the season, but like in all of baseball, like this is not being seen. So what? They're 19-3 right now, Kevin.
Yes.
How many seasons have we seen a team start the season 19-3? I haven't, and unless you're a New York Gotham's fan, you haven't either. Whoever knew that there were Maroons and Gothams in baseball? I didn't. It's just disappointing. It's just disappointing because it again accentuates the fact that even if you're 19-3, the Tampa Bay Rays will never get the right type of pull in a national broadcast. They literally took the Chicago White Sox play-by-play guy for this and no Rays input whatsoever. And when there's a walk-off, which was a very, very exciting play, if you listen to the call, you're like, why is he so upset? And once you know that he works for the White Sox, then you're like, oh, that makes sense. But
and if anything, again, I'm not Mr. Executive Producer or television president over here, but if you're going to have Jason Benetti, have somebody from the Rays side of things, whether it's Doug Wechter or Brian Anderson, or just have a White Sox voice and have a Rays voice. I think that might be the approach. All right, so getting to what the Rays did on the field. Again, there's been so much talk and scuttlebutt of the Rays haven't played anybody. Their competition's been crap, and that's why they are now 19-3. And yes, the White Sox are struggling mightily and failing expectations as of thus far, but the Rays found a way to grind out and win difficult games. And I look at the starting pitchers for the opposition in those 3 games. Michael Kopech, not too shabby. Dylan Cease, not too shabby. Lucas Giolito, not too shabby. If that's not good enough for you to give the Rays a little bit more respect, I can't help you, quite frankly. So that's one thing. The other thing, too, is I got to give some love to Harold Ramirez. Just, man, oh, man. Underrated. Unheralded.
Yes.
Unheralded.
Yes.
Unheralded Ramirez. Maybe that's a thing going forward. But not just the pop. I mean, the pop on Friday's game where he hit a 415-foot bomb to right center, and he now has, 5 home runs on the season?
And he hit 6 all last year, man. Yeah. Like, I feel like this whole change of approach that we talked about during spring training that Mottola was telling them, just know your strike zone and know which pitches you can do damage on. Those are the ones you attack. It seems so simple, but it's going to be very, very difficult to actually get the whole group to buy into this and to actually perform at a high level doing that approach. And they're doing it.
Yeah,
they're doing it. Like, it's not only Yandy Diaz, it's also Harold Ramirez, pushing up the power numbers. Before he got hurt, Jose Siri was showing also some pop too. Right. Bethancourt,
I mean, when you have your number 9 hitter is Christian Bethancourt, and sometimes Harold Ramirez, I guess, bats 7th. I mean, there's really not many weak spots in this order 1 through 9. It's just, all you have to do is worry about Yandy, Randy, and Belau and Wander. No, it's more than 1 through 4. You got to think 5 through 9 as well for the most part, generally.
Yeah, if they're doing well like they're doing right now, it's a very full and complete lineup. But man, like it to go back-to-back walk-offs, it just shows again the resilience of this team. And I know when people say resilience in sports teams, it can get very cliche. But tell me another word that that you can.
Yeah.
They had that game on lock. You score 4 in the first on Friday. You're feeling good about yourself. I felt so good that you know how I'm with jinxes. I do not play with that stuff. But it looked like, oh, they're fine against
Yeah.
Kopech. Oh, so I put a little tweet out there. I was like, oh, it's easy games are so nice, or whatever the heck
Right.
it was, the tweet. And then they start to Fauché gets to get the dink and doinked, and then Beeks starts to lose it and all that, and just walks and walks and walks. I'm like,
I saw
this is
the
an awful
box score
game.
from that game. There were 94 walks that the Rays allowed in that game between
On 2 innings.
Beeks and Criswell and Fauché.
Yeah, but you know what? That's so cool because usually it is the pitching that has to support the poor hitting, at least traditionally has
Yeah.
been with this organization. And then that day, the offense said, you know what? No, we got you, boys. You always have us. We got you. And Brendan Lowe, I mean, what? It's so cool to see a player that's so stoic, like 98% of the time.
Right. Get hype.
You only really do see Brendan Lowe being, if there's an emotion, it's like angry because he took a bad swing, so you can see it in his face or his actions or whatever. But it's so cool to see Brendan Lowe happy.
Oh, yeah.
I am going to subscribe every time if he's able to show a little bit more of that happiness side of him, because it was so cool seeing him run first base and just like pump the boys up in the dugout. Like that was so cool.
Yeah. When you see everybody else having a good time, it just permeates to even a guy like Brandon Lowe that is so stoic and so calm and cool and collected. But speaking on Harold Ramirez for just another second, and again, I don't know how much of this is because of the launch angle revolution. We talked about Yandy Diaz and the launch angle changes. Same thing with Harold Ramirez. His launch angle is at 13 degrees right now compared to 4.8 and 6.2 the last 2 years, respectively. And just watch Harold Ramirez closely and his approach. I love the middle away approach and being able to take it. It really doesn't matter if it's a 95 fastball, 96, 98 fastball up and away. He'll poke it the other way. And if a pitcher tries to pitch him in, he can bring the hands in and pull it down the line. So he is really talented and dynamic in that approach. We know, historically he's been the seeing eye single kind of guy where he swings out of his shoes, swings so hard, and it's just a, dribbler between the, shortstop and third baseman or second baseman and shortstop. And he still can do that, but we're starting to see him drive the ball a little bit more, as evidenced by the power. So, and of course, just everything that he provides with, at 5'10" and 232 pounds, he can hustle. He'll go from first to third. He'll go from second to home. He'll leg out an infield single. So there's a lot to like about his game and how he fits into this Rays lineup as well. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Is obviously what's going to stand out the most. It's just that home run that he mashed on Friday, but he also has shown as of late, okay, in that same game, I can draw a walk. In that same game, I can hit the single the other way too. So there's a lot to like about Harold Ramirez.
And you've seen how his type of play, which is hustle, 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 helps the other guys in the dugout too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not 2 weeks ago, Brendan Lowe said, if you're a kid and you're watching baseball, if you're an adult that just enjoys the game, just watch how Harold Ramirez plays, and that's how the game should be played. Like that's a very cool thing that another MLB player can say about you. Like that is a very, very genuine comment and flattery there by Brandon Lowe for sure.
Oh yeah. So man, just look at the home runs that this team has. Who on the bingo card on, late April would have had Yandy Diaz leading the team in home runs and have like 8 guys with at least 4 homers. It's pretty impressive and amazing from that perspective. And as you mentioned with the walk-offs, where it's guys like, okay, everybody in the order has contributed and has made contributions at different times in this season at different moments. But when you need your stars to be your stars, Brandon Lowe and Randy Arozarena, those are the guys that can step up. And I fully expect the same from Yandy Diaz, more of a table setter type, but definitely Wander Franco to, eventually be that guy as well.
That's so true. I mean, Dave Wills used to say that. So good. Also, by the way, that they won on Dave Wills' day. That was really cool. Neil Solondz actually said the Rays win, which was pretty organic, and that was a really cool video too. But no, when you say you don't have to worry about only 4 guys in the lineup, Dave Wills used to say when times are getting tough and when you got to win those games, your best players have to be your best players, and that's exactly what they showed. Brandon Lowe and Randy Arozarena. I mean, imagine this position. You have to walk Wander Franco to face Randy Arozarena.
Yeah.
Not an easy task. And I know you get the double play and maybe righty on righty, yada, yada, yada. You can talk yourself in circles with all the Excel spreadsheets that you want. It's not, I mean, I don't think it gets that easy to just go, oh, yeah, I'll definitely pitch to Arozarena, who definitely loves the highlight spot and the spotlight.
Right. Yeah, no, it's really a tough situation, which is a good thing. Tough situation for the opposition, a good thing if you're the Rays and a Rays fan. But of course, the Rays have more games to play, and that starts with the big bad Houston Astros. We'll discuss that. But first, we have to tell you that this show is brought to you by BetterHelp. Getting to know yourself can be a lifelong process, especially because we're always growing and changing. Therapy is all about deepening your self-awareness and understanding, because sometimes we don't know what we want or why we react the way we do until we talk through things. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who can take you on that journey of self-discovery from wherever you are. So you can discover your potential with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/LockedOnMLB today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/LockedOnMLB, LOCKEDONMLB. All right, the Tampa Bay Rays.
Kevin,
welcome. Yeah.
Well, we also have to tell people.
Oh, sorry, man. I'm getting ahead of myself. It's a Monday, man. I am struggling on a Monday. I've only had 3 cups of coffee. I need like a 5th or 6th, evidently.
No, I know exactly what you need right now. You need something healthy and delicious, and you know what that's called, Kevin?
Built Bar. That's what I need. I need a box of Built Bars right in front of me. Just have a pigeon deliver them. Right to my doorstep.
What? We might not have pigeons at Built Bar, but they have unbelievable flavors like peanut butter brownie, cookies and cream, coconut, almond. It's delicious, okay? It's like a candy bar, except that they have amazing macros. 130 calories, 4 grams of sugar, 17 grams of protein. It's amazing. So although they do not have pigeon carrier yet, you can go, Kevin, today. Before you go to work, you can go to Walmart or Sam's Club, and you can get your specialty flavors, of course, at Built.com. So on your way to work, Kevin, you go to Walmart, you go to the pharmacy section, and you can grab yourself a 4-bar box of cookies and cream or double chocolate bar, or maybe you have a Sam's Club and you grab a 13-bar box. You keep it on your desk at work, maybe brownie batter puff and cherry puff. So you can thank me later, Kevin, and all of you listening. Just get your Built Bars today. Delicious and healthy snacks for you.
Yeah, I really need some Built Bars right about now. Too many Coors Lights over the weekend killed brain cells. I think that's what happened, quite frankly. All right. The Tampa Bay Rays welcome the Houston Astros to town. The Astros sit at 12-10 right now. They did sweep the Atlanta Braves, and the pitching matchups as they currently look will be Taj Bradley versus Jose Urquidy, Luis Garcia versus Drew Rasmussen, and Hunter Brown versus TBD for the Rays. Luckily, the home team will miss out on Framber Valdez and Christian Javier, but should be an interesting test facing the defending World Series champions. I'm probably most curious and most interested to see how Taj Bradley fares against an Astros team, which has a lot of pedigree and prestige, and a lineup that includes the likes of Bregman, Alvarez, Abreu, Tucker, Pena, Brantley, and the list goes on and on and on.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool that both teams have their young hurler going in the series, Tosh and Hunter Brown. respectively. That'll be cool to see. These guys should be, the next top of the rotation arms for their respective teams. So that'll be cool to watch. It would be nice if they had matched up. I think that would have been really cool.
Yeah.
But no, again, this Monday game with Urquidy, he's done well. 3.66 ERA, only a 1.1 record, but he's been getting hit around and gets the walk. So I think he has a 1.53 whip. So the Rays are going to have their opportunities on Monday. They definitely will. But I don't know. I know it's the Astros. I know it's a heck of a lineup, and Tatis, has faced. Well, the Red Sox have a good lineup, but the Reds not so much. I feel like this is his first real test of can you navigate through a legit major league lineup? I believe he can, but let's see about the human aspect. I mean, is he going to get nervous? Is he going to be able to slow down his breathing and remember, to just not think so much and just do what he's been able to do throughout his career. So I'm going to be very excited about this, but Urquidy, I don't feel like that's will be so much of a challenge for the Rays. I know this might be a Kevinism, talking trash about the starting pitcher of the other team and then get like only 2 hits off him. So banging on.
Yeah, I'm staying away from that one on.
Yeah, but I feel good. I feel good about how this lineup is doing, that Urquidy doesn't strike fear in me. Right. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I would, because Jose Urquidy has been, I think, very solid, very consistent, very good over his career. I am not going to do a Kevinism with him. I'm more likely to do that with an Austin Voth or somebody I've never heard of. So I am not touching that with a 10-foot pole. But for Todd Bradley, it's good that he gets to make the start at home. The Rays are rolling, so the good vibes hopefully continue. And of course, we know the Trop as not just a friendly confines, but pitcher's park as well, which makes what the Rays have done with the home run streak and trek that much more impressive. Which, question, does it continue? Will they hit a home run tonight?
Oh, I like their chances against Urquidy. I really do. And I think they only have a righty staff right now. I don't know if it's by injuries or by design, the Houston Astros. So maybe Josh Lowe gets into the action. That would be nice.
I'll tell you what, Josh Lowe has really a good knack of, if there's, maybe not necessarily for home run purposes, but if there's a slider breaking down and in, just his ability to quickly and effectively drop the bat head, get the barrel of the bat down and hit it more or less down the line for a single or an extra base hit is really impressive. So if you get an opportunity to watch his quasi golf swings, do that.
It does look like that. And I think his everybody knows that his big issue last year was anything above 94 miles an hour. He was really struggling to catch up. I forgot to say, during that Cincinnati series, he went up and got a 96 mile an hour fastball. And punched it for a double. So very cool to see that. So yeah, maybe Josh Lowe gets into the action tonight against Urquidy and hits a bomb. But no, this should be a very exciting series. Everybody that's saying soft schedule. Well, I mean, okay, tell me about the Houston Astros. So hopefully they do well against them, so we can stop listening to that chatter.
Yeah. I know this is for a longer discussion, and maybe this is something we bring up again later on in the week, but I'm on the train to 100. Let's do it,
dude. You're starting to like get me to maybe look at tickets for that 100 train ride. I'm looking at tickets for the train. I think to get on.
Like 95% of the fan base has already bought tickets, so you better get on board relatively quickly. This is like a Taylor Swift concert. Tickets are selling out. They're like hotcakes.
And you know what? I said 94 before the season, but I think 100 is so difficult. But you're starting to make sense, Kevo. You're starting to make sense, and the people are hyped up. And you know what? Undefeated at the Trop 2023. Very cool. I would love if that were to keep going. But, of course, with the Houston Astros, it's going to be a little bit tough to just sweep them. But, oh, man, it would be so
I know my 162-0 is out the window, but 81-0 at home is still alive. So that's happening.
Yeah. Okay.
I can guarantee you this: if the Rays go 81-0 at home, they will definitely be winning 100 ball games in the regular season.
I think if they go 81-0, Kevin, just give them the World Series trophy.
Yeah, that
100%.
might be nice as well. All right. Thank you for making us your very first listen every day. Continue to listen us. We'll have a lot of fun going on later on this week. Hopefully, we'll have Evan Klosky join the program as well. So stay tuned and see what we have to say about Game 1 of the Rays Astros series on tomorrow's program. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we will talk to you tomorrow.